Hey everyone, I'm Chris Norman, and this is the second session of my GURPS one-shot, with a bonus. My daughter's friend Alec, with a C, asked if he could join, and of course I said yes, the more the merrier. Alec is currently playing in a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and I made the assumption that he'd like to play a magician. I have no idea why, maybe because I like magicians. But I did have a magician character that I wanted him to try out, because I'm building my own magic system. So Alec will play Penzel, the hedge wizard. It wasn't until after the session that I found out that Alec prefers to play more sword and board characters. Maybe that's why I didn't cast a spell in the session. But he was a good sport, and he did his best. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Alec. In the session, I still point out the mistakes I make and the thoughts behind what I was doing, but I try to skip over some of the boring parts. If you aren't intimately involved in the combat, the second-by-second evolution of the action can get a bit tedious. And this is the session where I get to show off a bunch of the cool Foundry features. I really wanted to make the online experience as inviting as possible. Hopefully you'll like what you see. I know the players did. And finally, I must apologize again for my lack of camera awareness. I'm constantly looking at the side at the Discord video and down at the keyboard. But we're having fun, and that's all that counts, right? Okay, so as I remember, we were in the middle of a battle. The Magistrate had just tried to do a double attack. This is where I made one of the mistakes. I let the big guard block twice, and you're only allowed to block once per turn. And but that's okay. That's, we just move on with that. I will say, in the middle of the combat, you see the bartender. So right here, I used the ping function in Foundry. I clicked down near the bartender because I want everybody to see that area, and that forced everybody's view to come down to that area. I'll use that again a few more times, and I've used it before, because you don't know where your players are looking. They may have scrolled away or zoomed away to another place, and you need them to look at a certain spot on the map right now, so you can use the ping function to do that. Comes out from behind the kitchen, and he sees people fighting, and he, let me pull this up. Yeah, he starts screaming. He's like, no, stop, no killing. Oh my God, the bargain. And he falls on his knees and he starts crying. He starts sobbing. Now, officially, I was supposed to have said that at the beginning of the combat last session, but I was so excited about getting into combat, I forgot all about it. But it's kind of good that I did it this session because our new player, Alex, got to hear that speech. And I'm sorry that I had to go look in the journal entry to get the words right. I don't have everything memorized, and it kind of slowed down. I wish I'd prepared myself just a little bit better. But I'm also not a professional actor. And the next, so we are in the middle of combat, and it is the big guard's turn, and the Magistrate just did a double attack, so he would normally not get a defense. But because I let the big guard defend twice, I'll let the Magistrate defend. It just only seems fair. So the big guard's going to take a step forward, and he is going to try to hit him with his short sword. And we'll see if he can. So it looks like he's going to hit. And the Magistrate, yeah, he can take a step back. So he will take a step back to do the dodge, the retreating dodge, which he makes easily. So at this point, I'm going to start to skip ahead. Alec is brand new, so we had to teach him how to use Foundry. And even Pat and Jeff were still trying to figure out the Foundry tools. Now, you don't have to use all the fancy tools that I did in Foundry. I mean, you could play GURPS in Foundry just by clicking on those 3 red dice. And then you do it just as if you were playing on the table at home. But the GURPS game made for Foundry allows you to do a bunch of stuff where it calculates the math for you. But you don't need it. You could literally play this with a piece of paper and using those 3 6-sided dice on the screen. That being said, I'm going to edit out a bunch of the explanation and maybe some of the boring combat and skip ahead. Stan, what do you want to do?
All right, so I can move. I guess I'll do a 1-step and attack.
Okay.
Onto this guy. So I can only. There.
I need to get your cursor to.
Oh, it says my game is paused. Game paused.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's
pause for us.
I forgot to unpause it. Now, I show this error because unfortunately I make it a lot. And it kind of pisses me off because I shouldn't be doing that. It's causing aggravation to the players because they can't move their damn tokens. But the game starts up in pause mode, and I keep forgetting to unpause it.
All right, so I can move 1 step, and then let's do an all-out attack double.
Once he said all-out attack double, I could tell he was starting to really understand the complexities of GURPS combat. Oh. Okay.
So I'm going to attack twice with two stabs.
All right.
And I'm going to target the vitals.
Oh, okay. So throw the throw the -3 in for the vitals, and then do one of your attacks.
Oh, nice.
All right, you make it. You're going right for his gut. He can't block. I just remembered. You can't block more than once per his turn, and he's already blocked. He can't go backwards because unfortunately his dude is there, so he will parry. He'll try to parry. And he misses it. So the first stab comes in. What kind of damage do you have for said stab?
Be -1. Oh, that's
all right, so I'll take that and I'll apply it to the vitals. Okay, shameless self-promotion for the GURPS Game Aid for Foundry. By dragging the damage on the creature, it brings up the damage calculator, at which point I can select the vitals as the target location, which then recalculates all the damage and even shows whether or not they have a shock or, in this case, a major wound, I believe, and does all this for me, which is really kind of nice. Ooh, yeah, this is going to be a tough one. We will do that. And we'll see if he falls to the ground. No. He takes it in the gut. He's like, oh man. But let's see if he that makes him pass out.
Did it get multiplied by 3 because it's vitals?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So actually, I did it. I'll do the next one. I might be able to make it, reveal to everyone. So I just, usually when damage goes to the NPCs, I don't show you that effect so you don't know how much hit points are less or how much armor they have. In this particular case, you've been fighting them for a while. So it shows this is what the damage calculator does for me automatically. I just told it was the vitals. So you did 4 points of damage. It has 2 DR on the vitals. So that means 2 penetrating, but it's ×3 because it's impaling to the vitals. By the way, the rule is basic set 398. You can click there in the chat and I'll pull that up. So he did 6 points of injury to him. So you hit him hard. That was the first one. Next one.
Coming with the other, with the right left. Here we go.
So it works better if you click the attack, not the skill. Yeah, right there, the melee attack. Perfect. Plus then you get the animation and the sound. Oh, man. So he could parry at a -4 because your second parry is at a -4, or he could dodge. He's going to have to parry again. This is going to stink. To that. Yeah, so he's going to have to try to parry. Can he make it? Oh, crit success! The stab comes through, and out of the ether, he pulls his weapon around and blocks the attack. All right, Frederick von Braun. He is going to take a step to this guard up here, and he's going to try the rapid strike effect again. Let's see if he can do that. So, quick notes. He's going to do a flurry of blows, and his swing. Nice. He hits. And he will do that again. Flurry of blows and swing.
Now, here's another little trick of the GURPS game made for Foundry. Instead of trying to find the modifier again and open up the character sheet to do the attack, I just went to the chat log, clicked on the old modifier, which added into my modifier bucket, and the old skill, and it rolled that skill again. So it was a very quick way to do something again.
And he fails that one. So there's only one hit coming in. So the big guard, he is going to do the retreating block. Yeah, he blocks it. But he takes a step back. All right. So then he's going to step... let's see, is that what he got? Yeah, he's going to do the same thing. They're just going to kind of trade blows if they can. Until somebody actually gets a hit in. Let me change his maneuver to attack. So he's going to attack with his short sword. And nope, he fails. This guard is such bad shape. Let's see, does he stay up? Yeah, he stays up.
When I made this roll, I held down the control key so that it was a private roll to me, so that the characters didn't see their health and whether he succeeded or not. I just explained it to them. At some point, I don't have a good guideline of when I show them my rolls and when I don't show them my rolls. But usually it starts off with, at the very beginning of the combat, they don't get to see anything. But then as combat goes on, then I might show it to them more because they've been fighting the same character, the same creature, and maybe they know a little bit about it or they can guess a little bit about it. But that's up to you. You just decide. Every roll could be out in the open or every roll could be hidden. It doesn't really matter.
Geralt's the guy who's bleeding.
Okay, I'm actually embarrassed about this part. I'm spending too much time trying to get the NPCs combat correctly, and, you know, part of that is my fault. I haven't run this combat before with these players, and it's just taking a long time. And poor Alec is sitting there almost for 20 minutes not being able to do a single thing. So I'm just going to zip on through this and bring Alec into the game.
And then also, what's the situation?
All right, yeah, so you were in the
Yeah,
bar.
we should have done a recap.
And Jeff is right here. I should have had a recap. Again, I was excited. I got a new player in, Alec, and I was kind of nervous for him, and I forgot the basic rules of GMing. Always have a recap.
But the idea was you had just come into town and didn't really know that many people. You found the tavern. You're basically down to your last couple of couple of copper pieces. The druid who blew up his place, you know, he perished, and so you're like, look, I'm gonna go find my way in the world. So you're sitting in this tavern, and some guards that were sitting up to the top, these two guys come in, and they had just finished a caravan job, and this guy comes walking in the place and sits down at their table. He's all quiet, and the guards notice him, and they are yelling, "Hey, there's basically a warrant out for the magistrate and all of his buddies." And they point to those three that were sitting around this table down here, and they said, dead or alive. So they immediately jumped up and start running down this way. So there's the big guard over here. There's this brute who was wielding this two-handed maul, and then the smaller guard. They're both using short swords and shields, and they were just kind of bloodthirstily coming after them. So Geralt said, "No problem," and he stood up and started heading their way. And this is where the combat has ensued. Now you can start to see some of the townsfolk are leaving. They're heading towards the door. There are a couple here in the middle that were like stunned. They don't want to move in case a weapon hits them, but everybody else is sort of leaving. But you're here. And you know that you don't really know who the magistrate is, but you could tell those guards were pretty belligerent.
Okay. That being the case, I think I'm going to I have an eye for opportunity, I think, and also one of us is now, or one of y'all is now unconscious, so I kind of want to step in before anything worse happens. So I think I'm going to go after. I might go here. Is that
all right? So why don't you tell me in a real world terms what you want to do, and I'll convert you into GURPS maneuvers and stuff.
Okay, this upcoming part gets kind of boring because we're teaching Alec the system, and I'm trying to walk him through the combat, and the combat's basically over, but there's still stuff to do, and I'm trying to get Alec in so he can learn the system. But yeah, it just goes on way too long, which is a failing of mine as a GM. All right, we want to constantly keep the players engaged. And looking back at this, wow, I failed horribly. I spent way too much time trying to think up what the NPCs were going to do and not what the player characters needed to be doing. And I think to have fun, we probably should have done that more. Now, this isn't chess. Like, the moves didn't have to be perfect. And, yeah, looking back at this, I feel like I failed a bit. So I recognize that at the end of this session, and in the following sessions, hopefully I do better.
Penzel, what do you want to do? The guy, he's on the ground. Actually,
I think I'd feel bad if I just kept kicking him while he was down.
Okay.
So,
We want to question this guy.
well, he does have a shield. He does have a shield in his left arm, and the sword's on the ground. That you can see the magistrate is reaching for his sword. Actually, he's grabbed his sword. He threw one of his batons to the ground. Do you want to do anything?
I want to take anything I can away from him. You said he still has a shield. I'll take that away.
Yeah, his shield would be on the other side. So you'd move over here and
Yes.
start to reach for the shield. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to end combat. Yeah, he struggles for a little bit and then passes out.
Can we restrain him in some way?
Oh yeah, he's completely
Restrain
passed
him.
out at the moment.
Yeah, but I want to like tie him to a chair or something.
Oh yeah, so this old guy is there. He's like, "Oh, let me get away. Let me get away from you. You can go tie him to the chair." Oh, I forgot all the good stuff. We had our combat going, and I forgot combat music.
Again, I chalk it up to excitement. I was so happy to have a new player at the table that I really forgot, the ambiance. And since we're playing remotely, I think ambiance is kind of more important. When you're at a table, you can interact, but when you're just sitting at a computer, it's kind of nice if it can show you decent graphics or maybe do some sound, or in this case, play a battle march. And I'd forgotten all about that.
Let me pull this up. Okay. So you start tying him to the chair. I guess we don't need the combat music anymore. And you all need to make perception rolls. All right, so Well, Gerald and Stan are hurt bad. But Penzel, you notice something occurring down here by the bar. You see... Actually, you notice a disturbance that way, and everybody starts to look that way because something weird is happening, and then this occurs.
Okay, two things. First, I made the classic GM blunder of making the players roll for something that really should have been part of the story. So I shouldn't have made them roll for perception because I wanted them to look down at a certain area in the map, and I used the ping to get them to look there. And the second thing is, this is where I'm going to pull out some of the animation effects, the JB2A animation library and the sequencer module. And I programmed some kind of cool animations with some sound because I want it to be, you know, thematic. Well, you'll see.
And this skeletal kind of man with a staff appears, and he's looks down at the bartender who's sobbing on the floor, and he goes, "As per our agreement," and he pulls out a pouch and upends it right in front of the bartender, and these gold coins come out. Everybody roll perception again.
And yes, I stole the idea from Matt Colville.
Oh, Penzel, you're the only one that doesn't really notice this, but Stan and Geralt, you notice that the gold, that the gold is blood red. And you've heard of blood gold, but you'd never seen it before. And then you start seeing...
And here I'm doing a little more module trickery. I'm using the monk's active tiles to make that little button on the map that I can just click on it and then put down a target, and it will play a long-running animation of little green footsteps moving around.
These kind of, not ghost-like creatures, sort of wander around, and you see their footsteps, you could sort of see their bodies, but they kind of fade in and out, and they're sort of dragging the dead bodies this way. And the skeletal figure, he looks down at the bartender and he goes, "These two will do, but the third is unacceptable." So he moves over here and he says, "So I choose another." And he touches the Elena, the waitress, and she disappears. And then
Big bad.
he goes.
That was cool.
When Jeff said that was cool, that made all the effort worth it.
So the bartender is just shocked, and he's crying, and he leaves the money on the ground, and the magistrate runs over there, and he's like, "That was your daughter, right?" And the bartender shakes his head, yes. And the magistrate stands up and says, "Who will come with me? We need to get her back." And he looks through the bar, and like all these people are running outside. Nobody wants to stick around. And he's staring at you, and he says, "You guys are good in a fight." And
I spit blood on the ground and I take a step forward.
And we were the cause of this. Will you come with me?
We'll finish what we started.
And
Get her back.
Penzelli looks at you and he points at you. You joined in. Will you help?
I'm not doing anything else. Yeah. And then I
The most. Perfect. He goes, I think I know somebody who might help us because we are all really, really hurt. And he takes you outside the tavern. Now it's nighttime. It's like, say, 7 o'clock. And he slinks you along the streets, and you come into this alchemist's shop.
So again, I like to present at least a 2D picture to the players, especially if we're in some kind of role-playing situation. And I thought about mapping this out and moving around the shelves, and I'm like, that's not interesting. So I just set this up. Also, though, I wanted to play with the sounds a bit. And so I've embedded in the journal entry where I'm telling my story, I've embedded some commands using our on-the-fly system so that I could punctuate certain portions of the story that unfolds.
And in here, there is this guy. Let's see. Show him. Yes. Show to image only. Show to players.
Looks like a good guy.
Yeah. And he sees you walk in, and he goes, "Welcome, Magistrate. You know you should not be here. There is a death bounty on your head. But since you've helped me in the past, I guess I can help you now." He presses his fist and his hands together and whispers a word, and the windows, the blinds on the windows slam down, and the door slams closed and starts locking itself. And he looks at you guys and he goes, "I've had problems in the past with less learned neighbors, so I take precautions. But to you, Magistrate, how can I help?" And the Magistrate tells his story. And this guy's name's Vladimir. "Vladimir, I don't know you, but the Magistrate I know. I had thought old Calrel deceased, but I guess not. I don't have much, but what I have I will let you have at a reduced rate, of course." And the Magistrate pulls out a large pouch of coins and throws it on the table. He's like, "This is all I have, but it should be more than enough. But if I don't come back, consider it a tip for good service, my friend." And Vladimir starts rummaging through the shelves and pulls out a few things and hands them over. So we are going to hand over a few things. It'll be easier if your characters are on the board.
Here I'm going to be taking a bunch of Foundry items that I created and dropping them onto the character sheets. And originally I had planned to give them a little bit of healing and some other things. Basically, some magical potions and things that they could use in the upcoming sessions, you know, to buff themselves up. I like a kind of a high magic-ish world where there is magic. But because they decided to take a lot of damage in that first combat round, I think I tripled up on the amount of healing potions I gave them to try to bring them back up to a base starting point. You know, they had to learn that getting hurt in GURPS is pretty bad. So do what you can not to get hurt.
Oh, and he notices you guys are all in really bad shape. Well, not Penzel, but all the rest of you. He's like, "Don't get blood on my floor, please." But let's see. I'll give you this lantern. You look like you could need it. And actually, I'm going to give all of you a potion belt to hold on to portions. And then he rummages through the shelves and he pulls something out. It's a piece of paper rolled up. He blows it off. There hasn't been much use for these ever since you started your forest sweeps, but the Count, he no longer does them, so I expect the demand to go back up. But you can have this one. It is a scroll of protection from evil.
Now, I don't know what the Dungeon Fantasy RPG says about scrolls or GURPS Magic says about scrolls, because this is my GURPS. And I like the old D&D style scroll, something that somebody could read. In actuality, if a magician in this world wants to try to learn that spell, they could take the scroll back and work on it for a month or so and might be able to learn it themselves. But that's just it. This is GURPS. I get to make up what I want. So I created a scroll of protection from evil that I just, made up on the fly. It's like an NPC. If they cast it, then any creature that comes towards them has to make a will roll, or it decides to turn around and head back. Simple.
And Stan, he looks at you and he's like, hey, you look like you could use this. And he gives it to you. Let's see what else. I do have a few minor and major healing potions. I also have this 6-pack of Red Bull. It's all yours. Let me see what I've got here. I've got what? I think that's just one. Gotta make certain. Yeah, 1 and 1. There we go. Okay. Gonna do that. Gonna hand some to you. You need some. You need some. You don't look that hurt. I don't want to give you. I'll just give you a few of those. But everybody gets a couple of Red Bull. We'll give you the Red Bull.
It's like Christmas in GURPS. I was just handing out potions like crazy. Because this is a one-shot, and these are brand new players to GURPS. I wanted them to have fun. And if that meant that they had enough healing potions to bring them back to full, then fantastic. But they will use them up in the upcoming sessions. So even though I gave them a whole bunch, that just maybe gave them a false sense of security.
There we go. And, I have this axe sharpening oil. Normally it's used by the woodcutters, but it's out of season now. I'm surprised I have this one left. You guys swing wood, so I guess this one must go to the burly one. And anything else? Oh, right, I forgot. I was working on this as a self-defense measure. Maybe they'd be helpful for you. I call them flashabangs. They make a lot of loud noise, but don't do any damage. I figure if I had to disperse the neighbors again, I shouldn't hurt them too much. I've completed a few of them. I'll give you each one here. And is there anything else? I think that's it. Unless you're planting a garden. Oh, you guys might consider maybe performing first aid on each other. You sort of hurt.
Let's do that. I'm still reeling here.
You are very much reeling.
I mean, are some of us better at first aid? 'Cause I've got a 10. I don't know what.
I think
Actually, Penzel has it at a 13.
I have a 13.
Okay.
Yes.
Go Penzel.
Maybe pencils. Do you have bonuses, Pat?
I have like a 10.
Okay, yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, I think you two have 10. Penzel is a little better at it. All right, so Penzel, you need to roll your first aid skill and not get that. So you were practicing on the Magistrate. So now you got to tell me who you're going to go after.
All right. I will. I'll go after.
Just pick one.
Stan.
All right.
Stan is the one who's down.
So target him, and then roll your first aid again. Okay.
I asked him to target a player because I set it up that when he rolls his first aid skill, it'll play a cute little animation over the person he's healing. And then we teach him a little bit about how to use his character sheet, and then play continues.
I got 1.2.
Yeah.
Man,
well,
I'm not very good at this.
no,
huh?
so first aid at this tech level is 1d minus 3 with a minimum of 1. So it's basically 4 1s, a 2, and a 3 on a d6. So that's not bad. 1 is, your pretty standard amount.
I just do first aid to pencil, or to Dan as well. How are we like balancing?
No, so the thing is, first aid, it takes like a minute to do, and basically once one person does it, then that's it for the crowd. They've picked the most standard, the most common thing. You can try to help each other, where one person rolls their thing, and if they succeed, then they can give a plus or minus bonus to the next person rolling it, but it's still only applied once. Now, if you... Yeah.
Are we meant to drink our potions? How am I supposed to get my hit points back?
Right. Well, that is what you can do.
I'm done with first aid for at least a day or
no, it's basically that wound, that series of wounds. If you take more wounds, say in 10 minutes, they're going to be different cuts on different parts of the body, and that can be first aided. But you can't in an hour go back and first aid this thing that you've already first aided.
But tomorrow, can I receive more first aid?
No, it's first aid. You get a one-time thing. So yeah, you need to either have somebody.
Other than drinking a potion, how can I get hit points back?
The normal recovery is 1 a night. You make a health roll and you get 1 hit point back a night.
Okay.
If you knew some magical means, but for most cases it is magic potions. You don't know any clerics in this area, if there are any even, that might be able to heal you. Penzel does have a healing-like thing, because he was sort of trained by a rogue druid, but he doesn't actually have his spell book with him at the moment. It's back at the tavern. And the magic system I'm running here is my own homebrew, and it's basically the characters can have spell slots where they can cast a spell again and again, that same spell. But if they want to change out spells, they have to go find their spell book or their prayer book and sit for a time to learn the new spell. And I'll probably have a video at some point describing that whole process, because I'm having fun building it. So your best bet is to drink some of the potions.
All right, I'm going to try a minor healing potion.
So a minor healing potion is 1d healing, and then a major is 2d. And if you open up your character sheet and you scroll down to your inventory,
I got it.
There is a yellow button that says drink me.
Yep. Here I go.
2.
Big roll.
I need at least 2d. I'm going to do a major healing potion.
Go for it. And those drink me buttons are just examples of on-the-fly formulas. I programmed it in that if you could reduce the quantity by 1, meaning there was at least 1 potion there, then you gain 2 dice of hit points. And the reason we have to do this is because in your GURPS world, maybe your healing potion does different kinds of healing. And it's not programmed into the system because we don't know what your world does. So instead, we give you the ability to type this stuff up yourself and embed it in your character sheets. Well, you're up off of negatives, at least. You don't have to keep rolling to see if you move.
Yeah, could drink another one. But maybe let's see what the spell book, if there's anything good.
3d6.
That was me. I'm sorry. I had him selected when I rolled that. Sorry. Should have been like that. But I accidentally had him selected. Just doing something.
All right, we got our goodies.
Yeah, I guess I'm hanging with 8 out of 16.
He does.
And then I
Stan,
guess
you are still reeling from pain.
Stannis, yeah.
You definitely want to do something about that.
All right, let's. I guess another major healing potion is in order.
There you
So
go.
are we shotgunning Red Bulls?
Well, so Red Bulls are for fatigue.
Okay.
And it's not a random die. You just get 4 fatigue pack for shotgunning a Red Bull. And you each have 2 Red Bulls.
I am now
How
at
do
out of 12.
how do we get fatigue on rest too?
Yeah, if you don't move for 10 minutes, you get a fatigue point back.
Comes back pretty fast.
Okay, so pretty much if we sleep, we're almost always going to get.
True, but Vladimir is like, just to let you know, Calrel is going to sacrifice that girl tonight at midnight.
Oh shit!
Since this was a one-shot, I wanted to keep the pressure on.
I don't know if you know this, but he's a cleric. And he worships an evil god. I don't want to say his name. You know that naming them gives power to them, so fuck them. But that does mean that the scroll may work against him and his minions. It makes it harder for evil creatures to approach you. But someone strong-willed may be able to push through the barrier, so be wary. Also, it will only protect one of you. And it only lasts but an hour. I'm sorry.
How many scrolls do we have? I have a scroll.
1.
Oh, I've got the scroll.
You have these scrolls.
You were the scrawniest looking one. He's like, it looks like you're gonna need this. Even Penzel looks
So, like at least 15 pounds.
less as thin than you are. And he keeps. Oh, I'm sorry. I still have you on stun.
I have a scroll of protection from evil.
And what does it do?
If you cast it, then evil creatures will be pushed back from you. So
it's like
they
defense.
Yeah. If they can push their way through it, then it does nothing. But it might keep some of the people away from you.
All right.
He keeps rummaging around to see. He keeps looking to see if he can see anything else, and he's like, I have 2 more of the major healing potions." And he gives one to you, Stan. I'll add it to your character sheet, and I will get rid of that one. You'll notice on the character sheet you can actually bring something to 0. In terms of quantity. Maybe you didn't notice that. It's just there because you might get it later and you can add on to it, but I'm going to do that. And so he gave one to Stan, and he will give one to Geralt. There we go. So you now have 3. Did you drink both of your minor healing potions?
I only had 1 minor.
Oh, you only well, he found a couple more. He's going to give you 2 minor.
Yeah, these guys were banged up worse than I thought, so I figured I'd better give them a few more.
Nice guys.
Yeah, and I think that's it.
I'll leave a copper piece on the table.
Awfully nice of you.
Yeah, well, all right, so we got till midnight. That's not much.
And it's about 7 o'clock. Yes.
All right, so we gotta get moving. I mean,
What are we gonna do? We're gonna back to the bartender, right? He's the only one that.
Well, actually, at this point, you start to hear voices outside. Lots of people running. You can't see anything because the windows are all slammed shut. But you hear the stomping of feet, and they're running up and down, and you hear shouts, and you hear whistles.
we're saying, can we sneak out the back? Like they're
We did just Smoke 3 guards.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a back door. It's like, no, that's the only one. That's the only way to get out. And I don't. What?
Is there a peephole that we can look out to the street and see what's going on? Or
Can somebody peek behind the curtain and see how many of them are there?
You start to hear more and more, and you hear some yelling of the killers. Get the killers! And Vladimir looks at you and he's like, I don't think you can get out that way. There's only one way that I know of to get to the river.
And yes, I'm railroading them, but it's a one-shot. What can you do?
And he goes to the back of his store and pulls up a hatch on the floor and goes, down there, you must use the sewers. And you see a dark hole descending into the earth, and a whiff of something hits your nose. And in the chat log, it's a button that says, ooh, what's that smell? Each of you click that. Oh, it's hilarious. So it's a really bad smell, and you feel like vomiting, but you don't.
Again, more on-the-fly stuff. I mean, heck, I'm a programmer, and I programmed it. But basically, when they click that button, it would check to see if they failed a health roll. And if so, they would turn on the status of nauseated, which would give them minus to their rolls. But everybody passed. And I didn't want them to know what was going on, so it's got that initial exclamation point that turns everything private. So all they know is they pressed a button and it rolled health, but they have no idea why.
So, let's see. I think you have just about everything else. Frederick's going to drink one of the Red Bulls, and he is going to do a potion of healing. So HP.
I'm going to drink a major healing potion.
All right, so he's back a little bit. All right.
So,
You guys, you got your...
I'm full up. I'm ready to
Okay.
dive into the sewer.
So, you really can't see what's down there. You can sort of hear some water gurgling, but it's dark. So, unless somebody's going to do something, Frederick's going to jump in.
All right.
Do you have any light sources?
Actually, you know what?
That's
Hang on a second. Yes, good idea. He had given a lantern out, but he does have some of these that are used by the miners. I give them to you. So he gives you a miner's amulet. Well, you see light down there because Frederick is down there and he has turned on the lantern. So you see a pool of water and he's off to the side. It's about 25 feet down.
We're diving in.
All right.
Climbing down the ladder.
Who's
All right,
going first?
everybody roll a Dex +2.
This is just some more wing it stuff. I decided that going down the hole, the rope ladder, was a dex climb. I guess I could have asked for them to roll climb, but I made it easy at a +2. I didn't expect any of them to fail it, but if they did, it would have been hilarious, and I could have given them some damage.
No problem. You guys all easily jump down without scraping your nose or doing anything like that. And scene change.
So here I was trying to show off some more Foundry coolness. First off, they're in the sewers, so there's automatically ambient sounds about being in the sewers. And looking through the modules, the free modules I've downloaded, I found a really cool sewer kind of sound. So that's what you hear first. And then there's walls because they're in sewers. They can't just randomly go anywhere. And there's no lights. They have to provide their own lights. And you'll see that the NPC, Frederick, has a lantern which provides 360 light. But everybody else was just given what I called a miner's amulet, which just gives them 120 degrees of light over a short distance as they're looking forward. So they are literally going to have to explore. Hang on a second. Let me turn on his lantern. Okay. Now, on your character sheet, you should see the miner's amulet in your carried equipment. And it has a yellow button, light on, light off. So click light on. Alec, do you see yours?
I thought I turned it on.
Sometimes you can't tell unless you're
Yeah,
like over
quite
by the
possibly you
darkness.
might not be able to tell.
Like, go
Yep.
over where I was and you'll be able to
Yeah,
tell.
it's on. All right, so
That's cool.
so now what do you want to do?
I've got my.
There's only one way to go here.
Oh, so yes, this water is actually
Gross.
It's going down. So the water is going down this well. You can't really see how far. Yeah, it's murky, but it's not coming up from this. It's actually going down this. It sucks you down a little bit, but not enough to be in trouble.
And do we know where we're going?
You're trying to get to the river. This is what Vladimir's yelling down.
Okay.
It's the only way to get out. It'll take you under the city wall. Good luck. And he closes the hatch.
Thank you. Don't forget about us.
Now what you're seeing is the GM's view. So the gray squares are Monk's active tiles that I've set up to do various things. And you can see right there is a snake. Except the characters don't see it because I actually have it set to be invisible. But as the GM, of course, I could see it. And I was going to have it set up that if they went in there, then they would be attacked by the snake. And I just placed it there so I wouldn't have to drag it from the character bar. But I don't think they did.
All right.
We'll come back for you.
All right, we're going up.
Yeah, I
Girl,
guess
you
like
think-
which of these two paths, where is the water flowing downward the fastest? I
So
suppose?
the problem is, remember this water down here, it's going down. So the water is heading, well, that doesn't tell me. It's basically going south at the moment.
Yeah. Draining.
It's draining into that, so you can't really tell where it's coming from.
Could we split up the party? That's a great idea, I know.
You know, I was actually about to suggest we not do that, but
All right.
Alright, we're going north, following the bigger.
Just, yeah, we can take the rest. All
yeah, it
things
seems.
All right. So his lantern covers a little bit more, but
Keep checking our 6. Make sure we're good.
Well, let's go
There's
this side.
something over here.
Something else this way.
See? Light over here.
yeah. So I paused for a second. So if you try to go outside the walls, you'll probably get a little warning saying that your token could not cross a wall or something like that. So, but yeah, Stan, you found something, right? Some more cool Foundry stuff. I've set up a sound of a kind of a waterfall for that big well there, and it can only be heard out to a certain distance. So way out where Frederick is, you don't hear it. But Stan, who got closer, can hear it. And as I clicked on Stan's character, then I heard it also as the GM. And then I used one of the light sources to make it look like water. It's got a bluish color and it's bubbling, or it's, you know, has rolls to it. This is the best, closest I could get to make it look like water, but it is kind of a cool effect.
All right. Yeah. What do I see over here? This is This is the source.
Looks like there's some light, so I'll go.
Yeah,
maybe-
so it's kind of glowing. The water is coming up from here. It's a little cleaner, but still you can't really tell where the water's coming from, but it's obviously coming up in from here and then feeding these other 4 passageways.
It's
get-
still paused for us.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that. There you go, sorry.
So it goes
Oh,
forward,
Stan goes
and then-
jumping in the water. Did you mean to go do that? I'm
Oh,
sorry,
that was me. That's my bad.
Penzel? Okay.
Pentacle.
So you've got
Let's see which
4 directions.
which
All right,
cleaner.
hang on a second. Let me
Yeah,
pause,
number
please.
1 rule in the maze: you stick to the left, I guess.
Bad idea.
All right, see if this works. Yeah, so in the chat log is a button. Everybody click it. So I use the on-the-fly formulas to make a button they could press so they wouldn't know that they're rolling IQ -4 to have some idea of the direction. Yeah. Nope. You really don't have a good idea where to go.
All right. Where's the best smell coming from? Yeah.
Oh, it's strong, but all of you made your health saves before, so nobody was puking, but it's just really strong.
We're gonna
Well, we're
keep-
just taking it again.
Stick with the left plan. Always left. Is this a... No, yeah,
This
that's
doesn't look
dead
great.
ends.
Oh,
Oh, you get a sound
what
effect?
the?
I hear it.
Hold up.
Yeah, so some rocks slid around you. This is a rough-hewn cave. There's some rail tracks down, but they're kind of beat up and broken. But the cave seems safe. It's just, as you cross that certain area, you gotta, some of it fell. Yeah, some more Foundry trickery. I set up a monk's active tile that as a token crossed over it for the first time, it would play that sound. So it sounded like rocks falling. And I think it startled the players just a little bit.
The greedy part of me wants to explore all this, but I also think that
This looks like a dead end.
Yeah, there's a cave in there, so doesn't seem like you can go anywhere with that. Oh, some more rocks falling, but nothing too bad.
We do perception to see if this is safe, or I'm worried about us getting...
Okay.
split
Hang on a
up
second.
maybe.
Hang on a second.
What?
Because I'd turned this into a real-time exploration game, I had to pause the game every so often to keep them from moving their tokens once they got to a certain point, which is also my downfall because I keep forgetting to turn it off. Do you have any skills that might pertain to rock safety or mining or...
I have Naturalist
We have
Earth-like.
Naturalist.
Yeah, so Naturalist, I'll let you do Naturalist. Hang on a second. I will put that in. Okay, so I have... let's see if this... Do I need it that way? There you go. There's a button in the window, in the chat log. Click on it. See if I did it right. So again, I'm using on-the-fly formulas to get them to roll. I think it was at a minus, but I didn't want them to know that, so they were made to be blind rolls. You obviously don't need to use the on-the-fly formulas. I created the system, so it's pretty easy for me, and it just made it easy for the players to just click on a button, and then, they went with the results. But I could have just told them, hey, roll IQ -4.
Or I could have said, roll that skill, and internally think that I would apply a -4 to it. But this way, they didn't know anything about how difficult it was, so they didn't know the -4, and honestly, didn't even know what they were rolling against, which I kind of wanted them to be in the dark, figuratively and literally. Button.
There we go.
Ah, all right. Penzel, you looking at the walls, and you're like, yeah, actually... There's loose gravel and stuff like this, but this cave's old. It's been around for a while. It's pretty solid.
Oh, okay. So we should
Go forward.
What?
Oh, hang on a sec.
Together.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you hear something.
Again, more Foundry coolness. I just set down a sound effect of hammers that had a radius. And it's kind of cool that the characters moved into radius and they heard the sound, but they couldn't see where it's coming from, which is good because that's a little bit farther up.
Do hear something.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Some hammering and stuff like that.
Knocking.
What is it?
You just keep going?
I'm gonna draw my sword.
All right.
So you draw on your weapons?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I am as
Get
well.
back. I'm gonna get behind Jeff.
Freaking shoot me in the back. Oh shit! I see baddies.
Hang on a second.
Out. Do they see us?
Well, let's see. Do any of you have any kind of stealthing skills?
Got camouflage.
All right. Take a -3 and roll against your dex.
Now, actually, I think a bunch of the characters actually had stealth, but it wasn't that important for this plot point. So I just picked a default, dex -3. I don't even think that's right. I think it's dex -4. But I just said, hey, roll that, and we'll see if you make some noise. They may have been able to sneak away. It wasn't an important encounter, so I was fine if they snuck away. But...
Camouflage or deck?
Now, camouflage. Yeah, camouflage is you're, making yourself look like something. So you could make yourself look like a rock, but you don't sound like a rock. So try that. Dex -3, see if you get it. Nope, Stan. Well, it doesn't really matter. Stan's the noisy one. Yeah, they notice you. Let me disable that. So then you see this guy, but he is...
Now right there, I used another module called GM Notes. And what it allows me to do is put notes on character sheets, any character sheet, including NPC character sheets, including the Nordland Bestiary character sheet. And the reason I did that is because, well, the Nordland Bestiary, gives me preset characters with tokens, but I may not like everything about the character. Like, I might want it to do something else or have a different attack. And so I can just put that in the notes page. And the notes page can include on-the-fly formulas. So I could put attacks and defenses and all kinds of stuff in there, which actually I do throughout the rest of this adventure.
He's wielding a short sword. And then you see 3 of these guys. They're smaller. And they have hammers and pics that they're checking into the wall, and the one here in the back with the short sword, he hears you, and none of you speak Goblin, so
Yeah, language we understand.
yeah. And the 3 guys, that were there, they stop working, and they turn around and they see you. Oh, Alec, you hit your mic when doing that.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
It's like, oh, that's a sound effect I didn't put in there. Let's see if they do that.
Oh boy.
No, no problem. Oh, yeah. Oh. He missed.
So here I was just rolling fright check, or using the built-in fright check calculator, to see if they're startled. And I read that it wasn't that serious, but it wasn't immediate combat.
Okay. So, what do you want to do? The two guys to the right, they pull out, I think it's short swords. No, they pull out axes. They drop their thing. The guy to the left, to your right, their left, he's kind of stunned. He's not really moving at the moment.
We have initiative.
Well, what do you want to do?
Well,
You're standing still. They're looking at you. They pull their weapons up. They see you.
I don't want to fight them if they don't want to fight us. So I'm going to take a step backwards and I've got my sword out, but I'm going to take my other hand and just like give them the like raptor, the Jurassic Park, like, hey, we're not doing this. You don't want to do this.
You don't want the smoke.
It ain't on.
Are we just gonna like?
Yeah, like, hey, you guys go do your thing.
Slowly backing away.
So that's what I'm doing, and we'll see what they do, I guess.
All right, hang on a second. He is sort of belligerent, but you guys look sort of formidable. What would he do? You know what? We'll just see if he stays where he's at. Oh. He's all right, he pulls out his short sword. And he's looking at you. He's got his short sword. But he's not advancing. He's just sitting there. He's kind of shaking a bit.
Can we see like, is he shaking like I'm ready, or is he shaking like I really don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to?
All right. Well, let's see. Do you have any skills innate to figuring out goblin psychology?
Animal handling.
Hey, you know what? You could roll animal handling at a -3, and Penzel -5 on your IQ, and see if you can make it. Oh, Stan!
Let's go.
IQ.
Intelligence. So, Penzel, you think that he's about ready to stab you to death. He has hatred in his eyes, and he wants to charge at you. Stan, you can tell from the animals that you've trained that he's nervous. He does not have a glint of fear in his eye.
So this might have been a good time to actually have done those rolls blind, because then the two players would have to decide which character is right, and they wouldn't know what to go on. Unfortunately, I rolled it out in the open, and so it was easy to see that Stan made his roll and Penzel failed horribly. So I tried to make a little bit of a joke about it, but let them go on. It wasn't really worth it at this point. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't fight them, but I gave them that option.
Okay, so I'm gonna whisper, guys. They don't want to fight. Like, let's just get out of here. Let's just go another way.
I'll take another step back, but I ain't turning around.
All right, the magistrate comes back a little bit.
All right, now I'm gonna do a little dash away.
And then I'll follow your lead.
Turn tail, and we're double timing it now.
Okay.
Back. This was all a dead end.
Oh, going left, going right. What?
Let me
Oh, we
think.
came. That's the way we came from. So
Oh, you're right. No. North was the way we came from.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we had. Well, I don't know. I was kind of just gonna get out of the mines and go another way. Don't like the vibes in here.
Oh, that's another dead end.
Like
Okay.
if we. Oh, just a
Oh,
dead
man.
end. Yeah, because like we get cornered in here if the goblins are following us. So we just need
So
to.
let's just boogie out of the mines.
All right. So
Yeah.
now we're moving back to
Okay. All right.
And I guess this whole area was a dead end, so we'll just go
Yeah.
back to the pool.
Yeah, go to the main pool.
Yeah, we'll go up from the big
That's
pool.
nice sound effect.
Or I guess we can go left again.
We'll keep following right the left around now. A small
Alright,
little
there.
passageway here.
Alright.
So dead end.
Check this out. Oh, that's dead
Yeah,
end.
it's a dead end.
Hey, so you see down this hallway, you can see a guy down there.
Huh.
You can see what?
There's a where my thing is
Dude.
blinking.
Yeah.
There is a dude.
Doesn't look too good.
He is not looking too good. When he looks good, he looks like that, but he's not really looking too good. At the moment, his
Right,
eyes are closed.
Looks like what Stan wished he looks like.
You guys make a bunch of noise, and so he reacts. He's like, "Oh, hey, no harm, no harm, no."
Are you
I'll
hurt?
put my sword away so he knows we're cool.
Okay.
I guess I'll just.
Yeah, he's
Really,
I've got
He-
one that out, not menacingly, just it's like my walking stick.
okay, and
And I'm walking up to him, around next to him, and I'm saying, "Are you hurt? What's going on?"
yeah. Oh, he's bad, chomped up. Like his left arm is almost useless, and everybody make a first aid roll. Just to see, we're going to use this as like medical knowledge. So, Penza, yeah, you guys all recognize these are animal bites. This isn't sword damage.
Can you talk?
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
What happened?
Me and my brother Olaf, we came in search of. You heard that rumor called the Wizard's Wedding? It's an old story about some magician warrior who was going to get married, but then his fiance died. So we built a wedding chapel and a crypt to preserve her, and yeah. I didn't think he was going to raise her for the dead or anything, but Grandma says that's what he done. Well, anyway, me and Olaf did some digging, and we hear this story about a crypt off of the river. So we went a-hunting. And we found the entrance from the river. Dagnammit, as soon as we got inside, a freaking portcullis dropped from the ceiling and locked into place. After a bit, we found the keyhole, but no key. So we went a-looking. And we followed old Gramps' advice and hugged the left wall until we till we saw something, and it looked like a wax statue that was left out in the sun too long, and then it moved, scared the shit out of us. So we came back to the entrance and tried the right wall, and that's when that thing out there hit us, and. Let's see. Roll that. What's in the chat window? Oh yeah, you all smell it easily. It is a rank smell, and this guy is like, I don't know what it is. Some kind of messed up lizard. But it zapped my arm. It felt like hitting your funny bone. Olaf weren't so lucky. Damn thing near bit his head off. I'm lucky I made it into here. I guess it don't like being away from the water. Poor Olaf is floating out there in its nest, I think. We saw bones and such just before it jumped us. I guess its next meal. Hey, if you guys get me out of here, I've got Grandpa's razor. Grandpa's knife, which he called Raven's dagger. I'll give it to you.
Oh, we're doing it, guys.
And he throws this. He throws this. Where's it? Oh, there it is. He throws this knife out in the air. And it starts floating in the air, right next to Penzel. All right, some more Foundry coolness. I created an actor that had a JB2A animation as its token tile, and so the actors are the only things that can go on the map. They don't currently allow items to do that, although hopefully someday they will. And so I just plopped that down there, so it has this animation of a floating dagger. And I can move it around separately. I can even include it in combat, which I do. And then he kind of snaps his fingers and pulls it back, and the knife comes back to him. I'll give that to you if you make me alive. What?
Can I do a little first aid on, what's his name, Jimmy?
Jimmy Tips. You could try.
Can I assist first aid?
Sure. So, Pat, you roll yours first.
I failed.
Great. So, Penzel, you now have to do your first aid at a -2. And you know me and the GURPS rules. I kind of play fast and loose. I can't really remember exactly how helping skills work, but that's the way we've always done it. Somebody helps, they roll, and if they do good or bad, then you get a plus or minus, and I just went with these numbers.
What? Oh, I didn't know.
Because you went in there and you're like, no, it's right over here, and it's this thing. You were so far off. Pencil's like, all right, I'll give it a try. Nope.
Oh.
You're both, and he's like, God, stop it, son of a...
Alright, who's wasting a potion on this guy?
I'll give him a potion of mine, because y'all have used yours, so let's see what I...
Yep, there we go. So gave away one of your minor potions, and he will... He's like, oh, thank you, and he will drink it. Oh, maxed out.
Nice.
He's still in bad shape. But thank you.
I can give him my other one. Does he expect anything more?
We're gonna need those. I mean, we just gotta get him out alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so
We need to
okay.
top him off.
Yeah.
We don't
Alrighty.
need to be-
So
And
which
we're
way-
trying to get out anyway, correct? Or well, we're trying to find the river.
Yeah, so he says if you go out here, if you go about the way you came in and took a left, you'll make the entrance, but it's locked. Big old portcullis. I can show you where the hidden keyhole is, but I don't have a key.
Something tells me this lizard guy has.
If you go out this way,
Yeah.
then there's that freaking lizard-like thing floating around that, or somewhere around that pool. You got to be careful because we didn't notice it either. It sort of looks like rock.
Yeah.
And you could go that way and then turn around, wrap around to the right. You'll see its nest. You'll probably see Olaf's dead body floating there.
Yeah. My gamer
Right.
sense tells me
This
that he
side
wants
quest
to
is
go see the
too-
lizard.
Well, I think we
Who's
need to do the side quest to get the key, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Well, you
either
go first, Stan. You're getting the dagger.
Because I don't have any lock picking skill or anything.
I don't understand this. Pat, go first. Go ahead.
What'd you say? Me go first?
Yeah, you get your dagger.
Oh, and he overheard you. He's like, I've done lockpicks before No, I couldn't pick this one. It was way too much.
It's hard. Alright.
Yeah, get in there.
Get in battle positions here.
You're up front.
I'm not up front. I only have 11. Alright, I've got my bow out.
Oh, you got your bow out. Okay.
Gosh, you and the bow.
So, all right. So stop. All right. Yeah. So Geralt, make a perception -2 roll. So you understand, I'm just picking these numbers out of thin air. It was a bad situation. I wanted to give him a negative modifier. I picked a -2, and we went with it. Not quite. So what happens is, well, first of all, we need to do that. And then we close that. And then we select all of these people. And we do that. So, what you see in front of you, Geralt, is this lizard thing appears. It was basically against the wall. The picture might look purple, but it sort of changes colors, and it was grayish. And it's right on you. You didn't notice it, so it's going to get a free look at you. And here's a prime example of where the creature from the Nordland Bestiary was way too strong for them. But I liked some of the concepts, and of course I love the picture. So I used the GM notes, and you can see I put a whole bunch of stuff in there that I will use during combat. And it does this. So that is an 8. So he looks at you, and this light flash zips out and hits your arm. And you currently have you know, that kind of funny bone tingle in your arm, which will mean if you're attacking, you're at -2 to do it. So what I set up for this creature, I think before it had like a death gaze, and that was just way too much. But instead what I made is a little table, and whatever they rolled, it would give them some kind of minus, like I said, the funny bone tingle. And what I had was the various negative modifiers in the GM notes, and I grabbed it and dragged it into the effects modifier window at the top, so that every time Jeff is on his character, he'll see that modifier there, because he's going to have to use it in the future, because his arm is tingling, and he's going to take a minus to hitting things. By the way, if you look on the top right, there's that little panel that says Effects Modifiers, and it should have your character's name in it. I've added the -2 there, so, and you could click on it and it'll go into your modifier bucket. So anytime you use your right arm, you're gonna be at a -2. But we are started. We will roll that. So we will begin. Jimmy, the tips is like, oh crap. So he takes a step and he throws the dagger in the air. And Geralt, what do you want to do? This thing just zapped you.
Shit. I'm going to... So it just disabled my arm. Or kind of...
No, it's like funny boned it, right? So you can still use it, but it's not as... You're not gripping as hard, and if you're swinging at something, it's going to be a -2 to hit.
Yeah, still 15 though. So I will target that bastard.
Okay.
I should kick him. Nah, it's still not a good enough. More like the 2. Made it.
Oh, all right. So
Despite mine.
he is going to try to slither out of the way. Oh, he's going to actually try to slither back, but he would still. He fails. Can he actually go back? Yeah, he can go. He can go. Sorry, I went too far. There we go. But he fails. So you are going to hit him. Roll some damage. All right, let's see. Does he have... So I'm doing a quick search to see if he has high pain threshold. Otherwise, I'm going to apply the shock penalty. No, he does not. Okay. So, you do that. You see this hit, but so much of your blade just scrapes across the chitons on the back of his skin. You see a little bit of blood slice open, but nowhere near what you might have expected. Stan, what do you want to do?
I will quick draw an arrow.
Well, I would assume you had your bow out, and I would assume you would actually have had an arrow and even knocked. Again, this comes down to gameplay style. I don't want to punish the players because of GURPS 1-second rounds. I like the rounds. It's a tactical combat, but setup is a pain. And so if you got to waste 5 rounds to put your boots on, that's not as much fun. So I go the route where I give the players the benefit of the doubt and set them up as nice as they want to be, and then we get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay,
So I will let you shoot. You can take a step and shoot, or if you want to aim. So if you want to, say, try to go for the eyes or something like that, or the vitals, you might need to take 1 round to aim and then shoot, or you could just try it and see what you get.
My game is paused.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
So I'm going to take a step forward, and I'm going to aim.
All right. So you can set your posture to aim. The way we get a reminder. Okay, Frederick von Brum, he's just going to step up, get his stuff ready, and wait. Penzel, what do you want to do?
I am going to run up behind. I'd like to run up behind.
All right, well, you have a move of 4. Why do you have a move of 4? Oh, it's because the stuff you're carrying is slowing you down.
Oh, because I think I was right on the threshold.
Up your backpack.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, so all of the potions and whatnot that he's carrying are slowing him down. You would have known this, so you could put them in your backpack. Now, doing so though means you can't get easy access to them. You know, you can get to them, but it would take a while for you to open up your backpack. So right now you have to decide: do you want to be slightly slower with access to them, or full speed where they're in your backpack?
I think I value the accessibility more than the movement.
Okay, so here you are.
Keep them
Yeah, that also lowers your dodge from a 8 to a 7, but you prefer parrying anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so move 4. All right. Then this guy, oh. There we go. He is now there, and yeah. Yeah, he's going to do that. So he's going to charge at you, Geralt, and try to bite your... Just try to bite you straight out. It looks like he's going to hit. What do you want to do?
And a retreating dodge.
Oh, you made it.
Unsuccessful.
Okay.
No, it's not successful.
Oh, unsuccessful. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So he's going to do some damage.
Oh my god.
Well, you don't get shocked. That's good. But, let's see. All right, so he bites you. It's a good bite. And you feel some kind of ichor leaking into you. Jimmy Tips, he is going to send this guy in. So this dagger comes flying in. Geralt, what do you want to do? Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. You need to... Wow, that's almost impossible. Yeah. This venom is slowing you down. And you actually can try to make it. So here, HT -8. Roll. Try to roll that, not from the Raven's Dagger. See if you can crit roll it. Nope. So you actually skip. It skips your turn. You skip your turn. You are. It's freezing you up on the inside, and you can't move. Stan, what do you want to do?
So I have aimed.
You have aimed.
Can I do any? Can I tell whether or not my arrow would be effective against this type of? Based on my experience with animals, do I know if?
Oh, he's just got like kind of, hard, thick scales.
Okay.
It's since Geralt is up there within his miner's amulet is kind of shining on it. You can see it. They look like rocks. That's why he can hide against the wall pretty well.
There may be any soft part on the underbelly or anything like that that I could target.
You can try the vitals and see. He does have. The scales are kind of on the top. I'll show it again. So you can shoot for the vitals.
All right, so I will target the vitals then.
Okay.
And I will take a step. Forward. I'll step to there.
You stepping in the water?
I'm sort of on the edge of the water there.
Let me see how much on the edge of the water. You know what? I will say it's very precarious. If you really want to step there, you can, but you may not like it.
Okay. Well, let me see. What's that? I'm at a -2 right here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just stay there then.
All right, so you got a -2 and a -3 for the vitals. Go for it.
Yeah, so take a -2 and a -3, and then I'll take a +3.
Yes, for your accuracy. Yep.
And I'll roll my longbow. Let's go.
All right, you hit it. No. Okay, I'll just see if it does. Yeah. So do some damage.
5 points to the vitals.
All right, so we'll go to the vitals, and ooh. I'll let you in on a little secret. I was scared. I think I made the monster too strong. And from the damage that it did to Geralt and the fact that it caused him to miss a round, he was their damage dealer. So when Stan's arrow shot, I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe he doesn't have 6 points of armor under the belly. And instead, I changed it to 3. Now, of course, that actually sort of follows what the picture appears as. Although you could have just argued that the purple was just as damage resistant as the stone. But I modified this on the fly because I was worried. I wasn't certain that the characters could beat it. I wanted to make it difficult, or at least put a scare into them, but I didn't want to wipe them out. So that's what I did. The shot goes underneath and hits him right into the gut area. And let's see if... Yeah, he takes it. He's pissed. Von Brum is going to come out and he's going to move a couple around in this direction. Penzel, what are you doing?
I'm going to step... Can I...
You can step into the same
can
hex. Yeah, it's a yard wide. It's a meter yard. So you can both stand there if you want.
Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to swing. I'm going to do a quarter step swing.
Okay, so here, let me move you on there so that it's... so if you move and you hold down the shift key while you're moving, you don't have to lock into place. That way, Jeff can still click on Geralt.
Cool. Yeah, and then I will quarter step swing on my man. Or rather, my lizard.
All right. He tries to dodge out of the way, and he does. He sees that coming and knocks back. He sees you there, and he takes a step forward and tries to bite at you. And he's going to hit. So you can parry his face, you can retreat parry, you can dodge or retreat dodge.
I'm going to retreat dodge.
No, you're going to retreat parry. Your parry is way better than your dodge because you're also overloaded at the moment with the with the stuff. So in that modifier bucket, there is a thing that says to block or parry retreat, or you can just put a +1 and then roll your parry defense. And you made it. Okay. Jimmy tips, then he does this one. He's going to try the flying stab. Oops. And it looks like it's going to hit. The beast is going to try to get out of the way. And oh yeah, he deftly dodges this thing, just kind of shakes his head like there was nothing there. And now it is Geralt's turn again.
I still affected by...
Oh no, you actually have action now. You feel like it's slowing you down. It didn't stop you. It's just you're moving slower.
and that as well.
And the only way to do that in the game is to make you skip around. So, but yeah, you're still -2 on the arm.
Alright, well, I'm gonna try a mighty blow on this guy. So, like that. Oh, I should have pressed out on this.
No, you got it. So the mighty blow actually goes on the damage. I will add it for you. Assuming he can dodge out of the way. Actually, he's going to retreat dodge, so it'll be at a +3. He still misses. So he's moved back here, but he misses, do damage. I will add the +2 to it. So makes it 13. And oh man, ouch.
Got him.
Let's see. All right, so... Oh, yeah, you've stabbed him. No, you swung. You took a big swung, and you hit him. And it knocked him down. He's bleeding, and he's on the ground. And the battle rages on. Pretty standard battle, but two interesting things. One, this creature had a high DR. It had 6 DR. So a lot of attacks would just bounce off of it. And the second one was I was sort of scared of how powerful this creature was compared to the player characters. And I didn't really have a lot of experience with this, so I was a little tentative about it. And I think it was still an interesting combat for the players, especially because the gaze thing would give them various negative modifiers. But unfortunately, it didn't have a really good offensive capability. And, well, in either way, they finally wore it down after beating through its armor, and it did. Oh, you smack through him, and he lays still. So...
Racking up quite the body count this session.
We will drop you out of combat and stop that. Oops, sorry.
Denzel, you
should
want to
play
hit me
that.
with a band-aid over here?
I think I might
Denzel's got the best first aid.
see how well I can do this time.
I'm gonna stay away this time. Not gonna help.
You're not going to try to help him out?
Oh, I don't think that was very useful.
Where?
So your first aid will be on your
Target, maybe.
skills, and you have to roll your first aid first. Roll your first aid skill.
Oh,
Did it work? Did you get something?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one.
All right.
Does anybody else need first aid?
No, I didn't. I'm good. I don't think anyone else took damage.
Yeah.
Can I, based on my animal nature knowledge, tell anything about this animal or where it came from, or are these things just they live in sewers or anything?
Agranath? We'll see how much you know. Roll your animal handling, and we'll see if you got a decent margin of victory. Then, yeah. Oh, okay, not bad. They're kind of like giant cave salamanders. But they spend so much time in kind of weird places that they've grown, how shall we say, funkier. They love to eat. They love shiny things. If they can zap you enough, then you might, Geralt noticed it. He started slowing down. And actually, you're still a little slow.
Is the tingle subsiding now?
No, not yet. But Geralt, you're coming back to speed. But you thought if
How's my
maybe
arm doing?
it's still tingly.
Yeah.
But you thought that if they kept hitting you with the venom, that you might slowly stop moving altogether.
Kind of paralyzed.
Something like that.
You got want to drink your Red Bull or something? Or how's your fatigue going?
I'm at 8 of 13 and 9 of 16 hit points.
Yeah, now, if you open up your character sheet, where the hit points and the fatigue points are, and it says, most likely it says normal. If you move your mouse over it, a little pop-up will occur, and it'll show you the number you have to get to be tired or reeling. So, Geralt, if you get down to 5 hit points, you're reeling, and if you get down to 4 fatigue, you're tired. And that does stuff like have your move, have your defense, or have your dodge. You still parry, but... So, you can get down there, but it's dangerous. You gotta be careful. Death spiral.
Go ahead and drink a Red Bull.
Can I retrieve my arrows?
Well, a couple of them. Let's see. How many did you shoot? 3?
I shot 2.
You shot 2, and they both bounced. No, one stuck in his.
One in the vitals and 1 bounced off.
All right. Roll a d6. If you get a 1 or 2, you can extract the arrow in his belly. Okay. Nope. And the water one, let me check. Yeah, okay. It's floating-ish on some crap in the water. You can pick it up, so you can add 1 arrow back.
All right, got it.
So why does he care about arrows? Well, I only gave that character 12 arrows, and the system will keep track of that. It actually won't let him fire it if he has 0 arrows. Now, does everybody want to play with a system that fiddly? No, you don't have to. I remember in my old AD&D games just shooting forever, like it didn't matter. But GURPS does allow us to keep track of that, and especially the GURPS Game Aid, and I think that's an interesting decision for the player. Does he use the arrow now or save it for something bad later? And so I added that into the system. So now he has to keep track of that and try to scavenge his arrows. Now, the percentage chance of finding the arrows, I just pulled that out of my head. I was just seeing if I could come up with something random that may give him his arrow back or may not.
I guess we keep going.
All right. Yeah, is there any... Do we need to, like... Are these scales useful or anything? Are they valuable? You know, is this
Well,
animal...
try another animal handling roll. Now, would an animal handling roll really be able to figure out the biology of some kind of supernatural creature? Probably not. But, as I mentioned in the gameplay video, let the player characters roll. Try something. And, of course, if they make a critical success, you get to stretch your, thematic muscles and give them an interesting story. Otherwise, you don't have to tell them anything. But I find it's more fun for everybody if they at least have a chance to do something, other than saying, no, you have no idea. Yeah. I mean, they're rocks. They're basically rocks.
Okay.
So...
You get the, well, do you want to ask Jimmy about the dagger? You get the dagger. Was that the deal, or how to get him out of here?
Well! I said, you get me out, I'll give you the dagger.
Oh, we're here for the key.
We're not quite, not quite out. But I know my buddy, my brother's over here probably dead this way, if you want to come this way.
Gotta find the nest, because the thing likes shiny stuff, so it might have the key.
Ooh.
Hate to see this.
Yeesh.
Ooh, looking.
Odin or Olaf. Is that Olaf?
A little bit worse. For
Yeah,
Olaf.
that's Olaf. All right, hang on a second.
Rest in peace, buddy.
All right.
Oh, look, Jimmy.
There is a button in the chat log. Everybody click on that one. All right, I just got to tell you, you all missed.
Oh, no.
So, you spend some time here, and where did old Jimmy go? He didn't make it all the way.
Oh, man, if we'd gone back through this way, would we have just, like, found this and skipped that encounter? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, we're coming around.
Penzol, roll perception. Yep. Nope. All right. Nothing.
Hey guys, you think this thing like shiny stuff? I think there's a key in here. Maybe we should keep looking.
We keep looking. I think we should.
You can. I mean, you can. So the rolls are basically like for the instantaneous thing. Something quick. If you're going to say I'm going to spend a few minutes, then you get some bonuses. If you said I'm spending like 10 minutes, you get like a plus 10. So it's basically automatic. If you're unless it's terribly hidden. But if you're doing kind of common things,
Again, me playing fast and loose with the rules. I forget exactly what the rules are for GURPS, but if you spend a lot of time and then attempt the skill, you are basically doing it over time and you have a much greater success. Now, this actually points out another GM problem. Like if you have a plot point that you really, really need the characters to get, don't hide it behind a single roll. Now, in this case, they were actually looking for something, the key, to get out, and it's not here. But there were other things that were here. So I'm kind of glad that Pat was like adamant about keeping searching. I'm like, fine, I'll, give you higher and higher bonuses. At some point, somebody will make the roll, because up to this point, everybody has failed. But you could spend some time searching.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty sure that it's something.
I'll get a fatigue point back.
Yeah, alright, Jeff's gonna rest for 10 minutes, get his fatigue back up, and actually, yeah, does anyone else have full fatigue?
Probably nobody.
Searching.
Alright, so here's the deal. The people who are sitting still, literally sitting still, no moving around, can't do anything. If you're not doing that, you can do that search button again.
I'll search.
Okay. So, Geralt, you're the only one who didn't...
Yeah, I'm getting fatigued.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Stan, you notice something kind of back in here. There's a grate. Water seems to be going down in the grate, and there's a mass of floating gristle and moss and some stuff in it.
All right, I'm gonna take a closer look at the gristled moss and maybe pull it apart and see if there's anything underneath there.
Oh yeah, you as you pull it apart, then you see a whole bunch of finger bones, and rings. Most of them still on the fingers.
Oh, well, okay. I'm gonna take the rings, I guess.
Okay. Penzel, roll perception. Okay. You know this already as a magician, since you have the magery talent, or the magery, yeah, it's talent, advantage. You can sense magic in the world. You have to spend some time at it. Usually when you look at it and when you touch it, you can sense it. And you might, depending on how well you roll, you might get some information about it, but not, it's not an identify. It's, yeah, this is sort of magical. And if you really kick ass, you might know what it is. But your first glance looking at these things, you don't see them to be magical. Now, actually, I'm stretching the power of magery for this one shot. Penzel did have an identify spell, but doesn't have it in his spell slots, so he can't cast it. But I did want the players to, get some magic items. So that's what I like. I like handing out magic items. So I stretched it a little bit and said if he rolled really well, that he could tell something about the items that he's touching.
All right, so we'll just keep the. How many are there? Just a whole handful here?
There are 12.
Well, all right.
One for each finger.
Yeah, one for each finger. So, Penzel, make an int roll. Okay. You know that you get another chance if you touch them. But then, of course, if you touch them, well, I mean, Stan's already sort of touching them, and he hasn't died.
Probably same. All right, so Penzel, I'm gonna hand the rings over to Penzel. Say, hey, Penzel, look what I found. You know anything about these?
That's a good question.
Well, the Ognarath.
I take them.
All right, okay. The Ognarath
put touch in the chat log. Click on that. Nope. You don't. They don't feel magical to you. So what you have, there are some noticeable rings. You guys can make a IQ -2 roll to get some idea of their worth. Now, normally you'd be something like merchant or some kind of business acumen, but I made all these characters. I knew they didn't have any skills like that, so I just immediately went to IQ -2.
Am I involved again, or am I still resting?
No, you can check this out.
Let's go.
Geralt, you're the only one. So of the 12 or so rings, 3 of them look kind of fancy and like they could be expensive, and then 9 others are kind of costume jewelry-ish type of stuff. And I mean expensive like thousands of dollars, maybe thousands of copper. The other ones are, hundreds.
Well, I tell the party that they all look worthless to me. Let's just split them equally, and then I take the expensive ones. I'm just kidding. I have too much code of honor to do that.
Oh yeah, good point. That would be heavily dicky of you. Code of honor, gentlemen's. Okay, so there is a blue.
Yeah, I tell them which ones are valuable.
All right, there's a blue one, a green one, and a red one.
I'll take the red one.
I'll take the green one.
I'll take the last one.
All right, so hang on a second. So Geralt took the green one?
Yeah.
And Stan, you took the red one?
Yes, and I'm gonna slip it on my finger and see if I notice feeling anything different.
Okay, and hang on a second. And then Penzel took the blue one. Okay. Now, Penzel, you know that if you get to spend like an hour or two, studying them and whatnot, you'll get a better feel. But this is hey, we're in the dungeon with lots of dead people around us. This is what we found. Okay, yeah. Everybody, well, who put them on?
I'll put them on.
I did.
I'll put mine on as well.
Stan did, at least.
So, Stan and Penzel. Geralt, you're not putting yours on?
I'll wait.
Okay.
And see here.
Okay. So, Stan, you put it on and nothing. Can't tell anything. Penzel, you put it on and nothing. You can't tell.
All right, I'll put mine on.
All right, Geralt. Yeah, nothing. You can't tell. Now, while it's fun to give the player characters kind of hidden magic items, it's also more work for me. I have to remember to use it. It would be better if they could identify them, and then they would remember. But, oh well.
We have the key. I thought we were looking for the key.
You are. And so Jimmy's like, you are. Here, I'll show you. And he starts heading this way.
Oh, what the heck? I thought we were... Oh, man. Okay.
And there's the portcullis, but we can't get out. You can even see daylight. The hidden keyhole is in the wall back here. And I've tried lock picking it, and I can't do it. We got to find a key somehow. Again, some more simple Foundry stuff, but I think it actually adds so much to the adventure. There's a light source coming from the outside, so they can see that, and there's also the sound of a running river. So as they got closer, they heard the sound, and as they got closer, they saw the light coming through. And this is all really easy to do in Foundry. No additional modules needed. So I wanted to do that because I think it makes the game more immersive for the people playing online.
I guess we keep...
Well, wait. Let's
Yeah,
talk about this, because I thought that the lizard had the key, And that's why we were killing the lizard.
Well, it
Did I
was
miss
kind of
something?
like we assumed that it would have the key because of the shinies, but
Yeah, I don't think we ever heard that the lizard has the key. Like the lizard.
Yeah,
just-
I didn't, Jimmy. I didn't say the lizard had the key. I said we went to the left
the key,
and we
then they-
saw some kind of creepy wax creature thing, and we were like,
Okay.
"Screw that!" We went the other direction, figured we'd go right, and that's when we hit that lizard thing, and it screwed up my brother, and and I'm pretty messed up. But I mean, first before we did that, we tried to find the, we tried to pick lock the key, the portcullis, and we couldn't. So
All right.
I guess,
I'd say let's,
you know.
let's keep exploring then.
Hey, what's down here?
Yeah, we haven't gone left this way yet.
what's down where? Oh, that was
Oh, that's where we
the
went.
that was the
Yeah.
entrance. Now you should notice that even though it's not something isn't highlighted, you do have fog of war. So if you've been to a place, there should be a grayish map so you can
There.
remember where you came from.
We haven't been this way.
Hang on a second. Jimmy's fallen way behind. All right, hang on a sec. Okay, so where are we at here? Yeah, okay. You should be good. Oops.
We're in here, Penzo.
Right, I've got my bow out still. In case we run into some baddies.
Oh, this is another cave. Man. Oh, there's a sarcophagus.
Yeah, there's a sarcophagus. It seems to have been kind of cracked open and left on its side. And yeah, Jimmy's like, yeah, this is where we saw that wax thing. Again, you can actually see the wax monsters as tokens because we're watching the GM view and I have them set as invisible. And the whole idea was just at some point later they may erupt, and it was just easier for me to have them already set up than to drag them from the actors tab.
Huh.
Boy.
Is there anything inside the coffin or sarcophagus, or
Wait, I'm gonna
Was
put away
there
my bow and
something-
get out my quarterstaff.
What'd you
Your
say?
quarterstaff?
What'd you say, Pat?
I'm putting my bow and getting out my quarterstaff.
Okay.
yeah, I'm also pulling out mine and stepping a little bit more warily.
Well, the top of the sarcophagus is kind of angled off. It doesn't show so well on the graphic, but if you bend down, you can look inside, see if there's anything there.
Yeah, I want to see
Take a peek
if there
inside
is or
this-
was anything in there.
Well, there definitely was something. There's ratted old cloth and whatnot, but there isn't anything there now.
Hmm.
Or
Bad
continue.
vibes.
So, got a question for you guys. It is 9:44. You want to keep going for a bit, or are we good for the night?
I would keep going until 10 unless we get into a combat. And then I just stop
Yeah.
at a combat.
All right, sounds good.
Clean break, but
Sounds good to me.
I wanted to give you the warning because you're about to enter the shit. So,
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
oh, did I give it away? No.
Wait a minute.
Stay left, boy.
All right,
all right,
hang
I'm
on a
gonna
second.
Drink
Hang on a
a
second.
minor health potion.
Now here I just made a Foundry mistake. I hadn't selected any of the tokens, so I couldn't hear the ambient sound. You can see up there at the top, there's a sound with a radius, and this is music that's playing. So I go and I try to increase the sound, but then I select on Geralt and like, oh my, that's too loud. I didn't want it to be that loud, so I have to set it back down again.
You're gonna drink a minor health potion, okay?
Yeah.
All right. No, it's too strong.
Oh, it's a major health potion. That's fine. Yep. Okay. I'm back 15 out of 16, so feeling good.
Okay. All right.
Feeling topped off.
So I mentioned I'm a little timid here, right? I'm really not certain how well the characters are going to do against these monsters. I'm not that experienced of a GURPS GM. So down in the well there are two invisible icons, and they happen to be mermen, but they're good mermen. So if I get them into a fight and it's going really bad, then somehow the good mermen are going to come in and save their day. It's all part of that concept that I mentioned in some of the other videos about it's always a good idea to have a backup plan. GURPS can go really wrong and players can make some really bad mistakes. And unless you want it to go completely south, it's always good to have something to protect yourself. So that's what these mermen were, is my safety valve.
Ooh, what is this?
Hey, the magistrate's like, do you guys hear that? It's... I thought I heard music.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. It's very faint.
What? Oh, sorry, Stan. I didn't mean to move you.
Pause for us.
My apologies. Yep, unpause.
Oh, I hear some music.
Yeah, there is a door there.
There's a door. Oh shoot! Oh, I can open the door.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool. Oh shit! It's these like sirens.
What the heck?
Should we go in?
You want to go in there?
It feels like we're gonna get entranced.
Yeah, this seems like a little bit of a...
All right, hang on a second. Hang on a
Very
second.
tempting.
Do we have any beeswax that we can stuff in our ears?
Let me make certain I read this correctly. So I got to remember to keep unpausing myself when I have you paused. Where is it at? Yeah, there we go. Doom, doom, doom. Oh, okay. What are you guys? You guys are... Oh, 4. Gotcha. Okay, so that... All right, everybody, say hello in the chat log. And she says hello. But she does it this way. Again, the Nordland bestiary creature was actually probably too strong for this party. So I made up, I changed one of its powers to something that's a quick contest of IQ versus will minus the range modifier. So it would be a really rare chance that she would be able to sucker somebody in. And it turns out everybody failed just about everything, so nobody was coerced, which actually, I think, caused the player characters to come in even farther because they weren't being coerced. And it's hilarious. They knew what was going on, but they still did it anyway. Yeah. So you see this mermaid. Here, I will show you a picture of the mermaid. And behind her is a flautist. This is I found it on Google this afternoon, flautist. And the guitarist, this is even bigger. Wow. They're just sitting there playing some music. Come in, the mermaid says.
Do I sense danger?
Well, let's see. You have sense of duty, code of honor, combat reflexes. There is actually an advantage called danger sense. You do not have that advantage. So now the map doesn't show it so well, but there is a little bit of that she's kind of sitting on a fountain. She's really in a pool of water, so she's she's kept hydrated. She seems friendly enough. The two people in the back, they're just playing the music.
I'll go in.
Seems nice. I mean, we could take a load off, but just take a rest here.
Like,
Yeah, we
guard up a little bit.
Guys, got that waitress to save.
What makes this pet? I don't know what. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, you gotta say there's an underlying goal here. All right, so who's going in?
I'll step.
I've been seduced.
I'm staying out here.
My
Oh.
will is weak.
Hi.
As I get closer, do they change in appearance at all? They
No.
still look-
No, and she doesn't look menacing whatsoever.
Yeah,
She looks-
their jaw unlatches and
they seem pretty normal. Even Jimmy. So Frederick comes in.
I would like to roll my sex appeal now.
Okay. So sex appeal is actually based on health. So roll health, and we'll see if you are able to get the right thing. Yeah, you know what? You get a pretty good stand, show off the muscles, and she looks at you and she's like, "Nice. What are you adventurers doing here?"
Now, officially, sex appeal just changes your reaction modifier. But I wanted to give Jeff something to do, so I let him roll against his health, which is what sex appeal is based off of. And, if he rolled really badly, I'd say he stumbled or something like that. But, he got to flex a little bit. And I sort of applied that as a reaction modifier to what the NPC was feeling.
I don't know what accent mermaids have.
Yeah, I'm looking for a key. If you could help us out, that'd be really great.
The key. The key. To the gate.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I don't normally worry about. I just go in the pool. I can go out that way. I didn't know there was a key.
What was that again? There was
the pool. One of you, Stan, I think was down. Saw it. There's another one of these pools where the water goes down. Kind of the same thing that you guys jumped into originally, and it's just around the corner. She can go in there.
You can't help us then.
Well, about the key? No, I don't know of any key. But
Would you be able to show us the way through the pool? How?
Sure. Well, you look human.
I mean,
That's probably.
don't know.
I haven't really seen a lot of humans that can hold their breath for a half an hour, but we can try.
You know, actually.
Okay, so I need everybody to.
Why are they all critically wounded unconscious?
Because they're
Hold up.
they're NPCs and do I have? Oh, I must have them as set up as. Do I even have them set up as friends? No, they're neutral. Yeah. So they've got 0 numbers, and so the calculations are going 0. 0 means this.
Okay.
And, yeah. So, but I need everybody to make a will roll.
Do I get a bonus because I'm standing far away?
Yes. Hang on a second. You get.
I made it anyway.
Okay. There we go. Yes, this you love the singing that's going on. It's really pretty good. And you at some point in the song she barks out a sound and you're all stunned. And
Well.
and
Lured in again.
Who could have foreseen this?
Completely.
They
Walk right in.
disappear. And
Oh, God.
Oh dear lord!
these
It's me out of the shower.
kind of things appear, and the music stops.
Yeah, the other tokens were actually I just used the drag upload module, found some pictures, dragged them up there, and created an empty actor. Unfortunately, that meant that all the attributes were 0, so the token tooltip alt was telling the people that they were critically wounded and stuff. I'll fix that in the future. But the way I set this up was I had those 3 tokens there visible, and then the 3 real tokens set as invisible. So once we went into combat, or we're going to go into combat, I took all the pretties and made them invisible and moved them outside the room, and then took the other ones, moved them inside the room, and made them visible.
But what does happen is that, and oops, I pressed the wrong button, and that. Okay. So you are all stunned for a second, and we will roll some initiative.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, here's the beginning of combat, and it's 9:55.
Yep.
So we hold up and go for next Wednesday?
I think so.
Stopping point.
Back it up.
Perfect. I will...
I really don't know how we fell for this. But
We didn't even get the. Yeah, I know. There was no precedent that this would have happened.
So that was session 2. And actually, I think it went rather well, except for the finishing of the tavern brawl. That just went on way too long, and I appreciate the fact that Alec hung in as long as he did. GMing is a constant balancing act. I want the players to have fun, first and foremost. So I worry about some of my decisions. As I mentioned, I'm not an experienced GURPS GM, and the combats in the sewers were designed to be harder than the combats in the first session. But I was worried that I maybe ramped it up too much. You saw how I lowered the damage resistance for the vital shot on that lizard creature. The high damage resistance was making many attacks ineffective. Near the middle of the combat, Jimmy Tips just recalls his dagger because it could never penetrate the DR. Lesson learned. In the future, I'm going to look at the damage output of my characters and make certain they have ways to defeat the opponent, assuming that's the plan. Of course, if they stupidly attack a god, then yes, they deserve to be wiped. All in all, I think it went rather well. The players enjoyed the session, and in the final analysis, that's all that really matters. If you've made it this far, I congratulate you. You are a rare breed, and I do appreciate that. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. I'm going to assume that you're already subscribed, but if not, why not? You obviously have the desire for some intense GURPS content, and that's what I'm going to provide. In any case, as always, thank you for watching.